GalaxyCon Raleigh. The time is now. I need y'all to make some noise for Mr. Giancarlo Esposito! Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
Good to see you all in Raleigh.
Hey!
Always love coming back here.
You know it.
Oh, thank you.
He didn't even have to pay for that. Don't ever stop coming. I mean, hold on now. Don't plan for next year just yet. Slow down. Every year? Okay, well, you hear the people. Sir, so good to see you. How was your flight in?
It was good. It was good. 12 hours of flying. It didn't hurt me too bad.
Whoa, where are we coming from for 12 hours?
I started in Portugal yesterday morning.
You are a man of the world. What brought you to Portugal, if you don't mind?
I took a few days off to get some sun and to meet one of my daughters and her fiance. I invited him over. He proposed to her, so she's now engaged.
Okay, now.
It's wonderful.
Okay, now. Now, do we like this young man? Do we like him?
You never like any of them.
I was going to say, that's the question, right?
No.
Listen, I need notes because I have a 14-year-old daughter and she's cute, and so I need to make sure, like, what is the vibe for how you approach a young courter that's trying to, I
have to say, about 2 months ago, he called me. I was in New York, and he said, "Look, you're on the road a lot. Haven't been able to talk to you. Haven't been able to sit down and have dinner." And I thought he was going to say thanks for inviting us for a few days for a vacation.
Of course.
And instead, he said, "I want to ask you for your daughter's hand in marriage." So you got to love a young gentleman like that who really checks in, and you really do.
Absolutely.
He wanted, we come from a family of origin that gives us certain things, and sometimes other things are left out.
Of course.
Sometimes we grow through our existence feeling like a little resentful that we didn't get some of the things we needed. So I always say, ask for what you want if you're not getting it. So what I recognize about this young man is he came from a divorced family, as I do, and his mother sort of disappeared. And so he's always yearned to have family, and he's never felt a part of a family unit. So his words to me were, "I want to ask her when we are around family." And I thought that was a beautiful thing. And so it made me think about my life and my existence and the family I've created, not only from the family of origin that I had, that I also recognize that I didn't get certain things I needed.
Come on now.
And other things I wanted. And so this experience provided me with the experience of healing and forgiveness. Because what I realize is my people weren't able to give me all of those things.
Right.
And I held it against them. Now I forgive them. They gave me what they could, and I took all of that goodness, and now I transform all that I didn't get into more goodness so that I'm able to be that way with my family of origin.
Now, come on.
Really honest truth.
I love that. The thing that I love the most about it too is not only are you forgiving of your family, but you're freeing yourself. You are no longer shackled by those feelings, and now you can see a better perspective to give to others.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely. We can stick with what we've always known, or we can transform that into something greater, brighter, and lighter.
I love it. Oh, I love it. No pressure on them, but do we have dates yet, or is this just we've planned it?
They're a little overwhelmed.
Okay, no, that's fair.
They're
That's
so
more than
happy.
fair.
They don't have dates yet. I did ask the question, how do you, so in life, what I sometimes do is see and envision what my future can be. And it can be a simple dream, it can be a daydream, it can be a cognitive, in the moment idea of how I would like it to go. Because that's what you put into the universe, and that circle comes back to you because, believe it or not, you create it. So I asked, I said, "What kind of wedding do you think you want?" And she said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, when you do, we as a family are here to support that and have that come to fruition for you. Do you see a small wedding?" She said, "Oh, no." I said, okay, cool. She said, Derek's got a lot of friends. And I said, good. But the more we can envision, or that I can use myself as an example, what my future will be, okay? So I told my children when we were away, the 4 daughters who did come haven't been together in a long time. And I said to them, a dream of mine has always been to go to the Galapagos Islands.
Oh, wow.
It's always been a dream.
Yeah.
It's always been something I've been inviting to me to have happen. I left them yesterday morning, or whenever it was, 5 a.m. this morning, in Portugal. I went to the airport and I got an email from the Charles Darwin Association inviting me to the Galapagos Islands.
Come on, y'all. You see how when you put it out into the universe,
manifests.
it comes.
It really does.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so seeing the world is a way that you kind of unwind. What else do you do to kind of find yourself? Do you read? Do you listen to music? What's your thing?
I listen to music, but I meditate first. That's my first go-to. Okay. I try to stay in silence. The silence of our existence in our world and our universe connects me to an energy that is calm. We have a world now where we're bombarded by a lot of stimuli. And I realize when I get irritated, it's because I'm paying attention to the stimuli and not to the energy of silence, of quiet. So I like to listen to some meditative music sometimes, but I sit in silence and I listen to my own breath going in and out of my body every single day, whether it's for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. I realize that I am, I will, I can.
Come on.
And that's where I come from. Truly.
The thing that I love is as you describe that, you could hear the room doing it, falling into that silence. I feel y'all. I'm with you right there because I know we all started breathing together at the same time. That was beautiful. When it comes to music, you have a musical background. Your mother was an opera singer. What is your favorite genre of music?
I love classical music, but I'm a true fan of jazz music.
Come on, okay.
Because of its expression.
Yes.
I love jazz music because, and classical I love because it's created and written, and it's masterful. It can be give you solace, can be turbulent, can give you energy.
Of course.
But jazz music I love because it's a form of expression within the time. There's no freedom without time. So when you're practicing jazz, and I play some jazz piano, I study saxophone, you have a metronome. And I used to always hate the metronome because it would tell you whether you're in time or out of time. It's an analogy for our lives. When you wake up and you feel like you don't want to move and you do anyway and something happens, you go, I knew I shouldn't have gone to work today. I knew I should have waited another 5 minutes. That's listening to the energy of your own spirit that tells you should you go left or right. And so we have a device that does that now, and it's taken away our own ability to listen to ourselves. It took me years to check in. How are you doing this morning?
Right.
How do I feel? Oh man, I'm a little bit under it. I feel low energy. What can I do to bring myself up? Well, you can be inspired by uplifting thoughts. Now, not easy. None of it is easy, but to be present is to find something that connects you. And once you connect to yourself, you can connect to each other. And that's what I use in my work. If I have to be a guy who is demonstrative or a guy who is frightening and eerie and scary, I slow everything down. Because we as human beings are expected to have the answer, know the answer, be quick to show that we're one thing or another.
Right.
I'm smart, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. But in reality, if you're really steeped in your own skin, you're not pressed by the world. You're not pressed by the universe to do anything that's out of your natural feeling. that's true to you. So it's about connecting.
Right.
Like, we're here to connect and have fun, and why I love coming to Comic-Cons is because most of us have a chance to be in wonder, enchantment, joy, amusement. We get a chance to get out of our own skin, right? Like, it's fun to get out of your own skin, because we're expected in our lives outside of these doors to be a certain way. But guess what? You don't have to be that way.
Come on now.
You choose to be that way.
Come on, church is
and whether you know it or not, in your life, you have a choice. Someone can ask you a question, and you're jammed, the answer's jammed out of your mouth. And I now go, take a moment of contemplation. Don't try to think that I'm smart. Don't try to put anything on it. And I go, I don't know the answer to that. Maybe we can find out the answer together. It's giving yourselves time and space to be you. And what we look for in our connection is the originality of each and every human being in this room. You have something to offer. You have something to give. Absolutely. And you know what? Give it, share it, be it, live it, love yourselves.
That's what I'm talking about.
We love you.
Listen, GalaxyCon, y'all came to get uplifted, okay? I don't know if you knew that or not, but you came to get uplifted, and this gentleman here he's gonna take us there. That says so much by doing just enough. And I think that is something that you exhibit as an individual. Beyond just the performances, you as an individual have presence. And you take the time to create presence. You said this is something that you like to do when you're creating character. Is there anything that really kind of informed that in you growing up to see that's how you do it?
It's such a great question that you ask. What informed me was a dedication. When I think about that, and I just love being with you because you're so insightful, because you help me to think about my past and how I've come to be. And my dedication and sacrifice for what I love to do. And that leads me to say, find what you love to do, because that will infuse your whole life.
Absolutely.
Find out what you're being called to do, like what you feel like your gift is. And don't rush that process. Let it come to you. Ask, and you'll find the answer. For me, it was a dedication to and a commitment to work to become good at acting like I'm not me. kind of awkward and weird. Right. And through that, I found that I could be many different people. So then it was suggested I go to therapy. You're schizophrenic. A joke, but it was. Through my work, I found my heart and my soul. And I found how to love myself, but I also found out how to connect with other people and love them and see them for who they really are, and be present and patient enough after I had children to be patient enough to allow them to shine and show me who they are, and to allow myself to be available. Like, isn't part of our lives just to be available? Like, we're trained to be doers and doers and doers. So for me, it was my craft that allowed me to look inside. And then when I realized that, sometimes I force things, don't allow myself to stumble, to say the wrong thing, because I'm afraid that I'll embarrass myself. Or I was sitting with my kids, right, and they were talking. So they step out of themselves sometimes, and they're all of a sudden talking about that other guy, right, that Giancarlo Esposito guy, and I'm like, oh, okay. Then now they're fangirling on me right at the table, right, amongst themselves, and I said, something about what are you guys talking about, a meme? And they all busted out laughing. They said, "Papa, you're the king of memes, but you say it wrong. You don't even know how to say it." And I'm like, and it's those moments that allow us to be human.
Of course.
Right? We lost our humanity, and how do we find it again? Well, for me, coming here helps me find it again, to be honest, truthful, direct, really available, and not posing as someone else. So I love what I do, and I think I've had great success through finding my own heart and soul and spirit through the work, the contemplative work that I've done. Now look, it takes an effort, and the effort is not, that word is weird because it's like an effort,
right?
But the effort is just paying attention. Like it's not so much of an effort to just be attentive to yourself first, and then to your children, to each other in a relationship, to your job, to your work, and then to ask yourselves questions. I never did this.
Right.
I never knew how to ask myself, am I happy?
Wow.
What is happiness? I'm too busy to figure out if I'm happy or not. You know what I mean?
That's very real.
It is real.
Yeah.
We're in a society that we're worker bees. But at a certain point, we've got to take a deep breath and go, where do I want to be? Where do I see myself? How can I create that expression? I don't care what you do in this room, whatever your vocation is. Our lives are an expression of who we are. They are a painting. They are a music piece.
Yes.
They truly are. They're fluid and alive. It's ever changing. And we can make a choice to be able to choose how that goes for us and put that out in the universe, and it'll come right back to us.
Oh my God, I love that. Make some noise for that, please. I need you all to do me a favor and just take some time at some point today to ask yourself that question. Are you happy today? Because he's asked himself and gives so much to all of us to enjoy by asking that question. I think we deserve to ask ourselves that. Family is obviously a huge point for you. And I want to know about your friends, because that's a little different, right? There's a family that you can make, but the friends that you choose becomes something different as family. Are there any peers that you directly say, more than just we work together, but we are friends?
Yeah, so many. I think right away of Lawrence Fishburne. We've been friends for 40 years.
Of course.
Yeah, we love not only his work, but as a human being, he is just a delicious human being. I mean, he really is. And through thick and thin, I know that that's a human being I can always call and rely on. Samuel L. Jackson.
Come on.
You know,
Absolutely.
And I can, I can mark how relationships change and people change as they become more successful or less successful or whatever it is. And Samuel has been a longtime friend. He was my doorman in Manhattan Plaza in New York.
Out.
Yeah. Back when I was 17 years old, and we used to talk cars because he loves cars and I love cars. We've had a long friendship that's been really wonderful as well. Susan Sarandon has been an inspiration to me.
Of course.
Way back when she was protesting U.S. intervention into Nicaragua, and she was someone who helped me realize that my voice could be used for good and could be used to help change the planet and could be used to comment on things that all of us or many of us think aren't really quite correct, to allow people to live and let them live. So Susan taught me quite a bit as well. So I have wonderful relationships with people who are not only about themselves in the business. Now I'm in a business where and today more than ever, it's all about how it looks.
Of course.
It's not about how it feels, and it's not about how much talent you have anymore. It's about what the pose is. Strike the pose. How does it look? But I'm a very heartfelt human being, so for me, it's about how it feels. And I met a person many years ago who said to me, "I don't do anything I don't feel." And that stuck with me. It was really, really an important thing. And in my work, the reason I perform the way I do is because I allow myself to feel all of that.
Right.
And I do a lot of research to get there, and then I turn the switch on or off depending on what kind of character I have to play, but I completely immerse myself. Well, isn't this how life is?
Right.
You immerse yourself in the commitment first to not only, loving yourself and caring for yourself so you can be healthy and alive and vibrant, to be able to serve others.
Come on now.
Because this is what life really is.
That's right.
Is to be in service to each other. You know, I got off the plane and I realized I jumped into the aisle, and there's always that mad rush and you got to get your spot. And there was a lady sitting behind me. I had noticed that she had a cane and all this. And I noticed that her sister was sitting on the other side of her, and her sister was in better shape than she was.
Okay.
And she was sitting there, and every time I turned over my shoulder the whole flight, she had this beautiful angelic smile on her face. Now, I know she was in pain. Like her body wasn't in good shape and all this. And the lady behind me was literally kicking at my heels to get off the plane with her husband and 2 kids. And it's like we're all going through customs to the same place.
Right.
And I said, just stay calm. I wanted to turn around and say, just stop. Her bag was hitting me. These are the situations where we grow. And I found myself getting irritated.
That's right.
Going, wait a minute, I want to tell her to chill, get off of my heels. And I went, how many times have you been her? How many times have you been her? And so why don't you just have some compassion and don't react in that same way? And instead, I caught this old lady's eyes who was sitting there, and what came out of my mouth? Can I help you get your bag down? Now, I know her sister already got her bag.
That's not the point.
Right?
That's not the
point. But I
point.
said, can I help you with anything? Can I help you get your bag down? She said, no, my sister has got my bag. It's good. I said, okay, is there anything you need? She said, no. She said, thank you very much for asking. See, that single little gift of giving up some kindness, putting someone else first, changes your life. It changes your life.
Come on now.
It just does.
Act like y'all listening. Act like y'all listening.
It helped me to feel that I'm not first, and that I would want someone, if I'm where she's at on a cane with a walker, to offer me some assistance or just to offer me a simple smile.
Here's the thing. We already held you in high regard. You know what I'm saying? But now, sainted, okay? Sainted. But the thing that makes it so great is you saying, I wasn't always this. And you're giving yourself permission to grow and change and be who you need to be through the process, through the dedication, through the work. And I think that is probably the best message that you could give anyone in this room right now that might be going through whatever they're going through.
I gotta say, I'm not perfect, and the fact that I still wish I was means I got more work to do. You know what I mean? I'm just not.
Yeah.
But I realize it's the experiential moments that allow me to see the mirror and to go, there is no perfection. We are all already perfect. It's just, it's being able to really understand that.
Right.
And understand the situations that allow you to grow.
That's right.
And they come at us all the time. And sometimes we're just too in a hurry to see them. But it helps you in your whole life. It helps my work. It helps me in my relationships with my children.
Of course.
It helps me with myself to give myself a breath of fresh air, because this is the way we're going to all survive together, and this is the way to move forward together, that is outside of the body. To be in service is all we have. It doesn't matter how much money you got, how many cars you got, how many houses you got, how famous you are. None of that matters. Is the plane is the great equalizer.
Come on now.
Because you got to get out into that aisle, and there's somebody in front of you, and you got to wait. I mean, that's it. It's the equalizer.
That's right.
And so I really love the experience of life. And, part of me said, who arranged this schedule, man? You're off the plane, you got to come right to a Q&A, and then you got to get on another plane. Who fixed this schedule? Well, guess what? You did. Because I wouldn't miss being here for the world.
Hey! Now, we did get a few questions that came in, and with your allowance, your permission, I would love to ask you. So Ian wants to know, and this is a deep one, okay? We're getting personal, okay? What is your favorite food?
Oh my goodness. I'm a fish lover.
Okay.
And I love salmon.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Salmon over salad is just such a delicate, wonderful meal and does my body good.
I love it. I love it. Now, we got a buddy, Mo, that asked you a long time ago about green or red, and you said you prefer Christmas.
Christmas, baby.
Is that still the case?
Oh, it's still the case.
Okay, so I got to give a big shout out to Mo.
Yeah, Mo.
Mo
We
knows
love
how to
you.
ask those deep questions right there.
Christmas chili.
Do y'all understand what that is? Okay, no. So, where'd you say it was, Mo? In New Mexico? Is it New Mexico? Where they put hatch chilies on everything, okay? Like, everything. And you can get green or you can get red, but you like to mix it.
I like Christmas.
Okay.
Green and red
That's
to me.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so Adam Deese wants to know, how did you figure out timing and projection when playing a character? When did you do this? I mean, was this on stage? Was this, you were in a quiet room and you go, wait, aha, this is how you do that?
Well, so I did a movie with Tim Robbins years ago called Bob Roberts, where I played a reporter who was modeled after a reporter named Danny Casolaro, who's not around anymore. And he had multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
And so he had an impediment. And so with each character that I play, I try to do the research surrounding what their physical bodies may have or not, if the character has an impediment. And so I went down and I hung out with folks who did. For me, it could be one line. In Breaking Bad, I was a guest spot, and Vince Gilligan wrote a line that said, "Hiding in plain sight." And I allowed myself to be contemplative. It wasn't a line I said, it was in the stage direction. And I went, that's interesting. Right? What piques your interest in life, in what you do? What is your inspiration? That one line made me think about human beings. Like, do I know what my neighbor does? He looks like he's going to work every day with a briefcase, but what does he really do?
Right.
Do I know what she does? Like, do I really know? Because many of us as human beings have become very good actors, and we're good at hiding. And so it could be one small thing. In Bob Roberts, it was a pair of shoes, a pair of boots. This guy walked with a limp. It was written in the script, and I had to figure out how to do that naturally. And so life is we're in an experience that's in the body, is physical, right? Because we got to move our body to get from one place to another. And as we mature, we have aches and pains that we have to work through to be able to feel good. So we figure out how to do that so that we can get beyond the body, like being in service. That feeling is beyond the physical body because it's goodness. You're encapsulating doing something for someone other than yourself that's good. So in my acting work, I figure out that one little thing that allows me to soar. And it's something I don't know, right? It's something that I have to let come to me to think about. There are all these things that define the character in the script, but what can I bring to it?
Come on now.
Right? It's about how we bring ourselves to what we're asked to do. Yes, I have a script. Yes, I have an idea, but what is my contribution? Think about this. No matter what you do in life, there's a contribution that you have that you may not even know you have.
That's right.
Right? So if you stay in a contemplative, peaceful place, ask yourselves the questions, what do I have to offer? My simple analogy for this is we go for a job interview. We get asked 50 questions. Of course. And we answer them, and we think in our heads, oh, I'm doing really well here. She just smiled. I'm going to get this gig. He just smiled. Oh, I answered that well. And then they go, well, thank you. We'll let you know. And you get up and you walk out, as opposed to going, oh, wait, can I ask you a question? Oh, yeah, sure. What is that? How can I grow in your company? What does your company have to offer me? How? Now you're taking control of your power, right? You're on an even playing field. You see, because I want to stay with this company for a number of years, but I have to know what you may have to offer. How can I grow within the structures of your company?
That's right.
Right? So then you're honoring you're honoring yourself, not from your ego, but from your desire.
Come on now.
To bring the whole ship up, right? And if the interviewer looks at you cross-eyed and is not able to answer your questions, guess what? You don't belong there.
Come on now.
You belong someplace better because there's something else for you.
Go ahead.
We have our own mind that says, I want this, I want that. But there is a universal connection, a universal brain that is each and every one of you in this room that wants more for you.
Come on.
More for you than you even know. So ask for it all. Cultivate your being so that you're ready when the door opens, so that you're able to stand up and have courage and say, you know what, this is what I want. And you know, your company's really great, but what I see is it may be missing this or missing this, and I think I can help bring that to the table.
Come on.
And then you soar because you're not thinking about just getting the paycheck next week because you need it.
That's right.
God knows we need it.
Come on now.
You're talking about uplifting the whole organization, bringing it up. And it brings up every person within that organization.
That's right.
You're talking out of your ego. You're speaking from spirit. You want to learn. Help me because, you know, I have potential. I don't know exactly how this company works, but I do know that I have this great desire to be in service because what you're doing aligns with what I want to do.
Right. That's right.
Let's forge a relationship. Let's work together. This is how it works. So don't leave yourselves out. Please, I beg of you, because what we want in our world is all of what you have to give. Your heart, your soul, your intellectual property to be able to raise things up. And once you identify that strength and power in you, once you identify that, the whole world will see it and everything will come to you.
Come on now. Come on now. Listen, let me just go ahead and let me just rave you up. Come on, preach. Preach. Oh, for those in the back, let me translate one more time. Don't just be a body wherever you are. Be significant in whatever way you can. That is everything.
It truly is. This is it. This is it, you know, it's be present in the now, because this is what we have. And you can be valuable, you can be vulnerable, you can be a truly, truly a gem in the ocean. Don't look at your feet, look to the heavens, look inside your heart. Because, you know, this is how I'm living my life now. I am the happiest I've ever been in my whole life.
For that, y'all.
Right now.
Come on. Listen, y'all are being very respectful, and I appreciate that, but let that joy out, okay? Don't hold that in, okay? That's what I'm talking about. You the one. You the one. Be like that right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We have time for a few more fan questions, if you don't mind. So Lewis Owens wants to know, what is your favorite comfort food that you like to cook?
French fries.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
What's the
French
process?
fries with
Talk
mayonnaise.
Okay, French fries with mayonnaise?
Yeah, oh, my gosh. My kids think I'm crazy.
This is real.
Yeah, because you know, cutting them is really a wonderful. Baking them, you have to have patience. I have no patience. It teaches me patience. You know, let them come out, get them right, cut them up, fry them up.
Potato. You cannot.
You can't mess with a good potato. You can't mess with.
Do you home make your mayonnaise?
I do not. I know how because I've worked in the kitchen, but I haven't got there yet.
Okay, I mean
you're talking to a man who hasn't been home in 8 months. But you know, when I get there, I'm going to take those egg whites and start whipping them up.
Now, okay, to get super
all these food questions, I love it.
You got it. That's what everyone wants to know. Okay,
I got to avoid food for my next role. I got to get mean and lean.
You look fabulous anyway. What kind of French fries do you like? Crinkle cut? Do you like the thin ones? Where are you at with that?
I like the thing. Well, I've just come from Europe, and I just flew through Paris, so I'll say I like the thin, crispy ones.
Thin, crispy.
Salted up with some mayonnaise.
I like that. I like
now
that.
You're making me hungry.
I'm sorry. Okay, so Darius Story wants to know, would you be willing to do more roles in video games?
Thank you. I would. You know, look, part of my nature is to be inquisitive and to be excited about learning about. This is the key to life: learning things that you don't know. And yeah, it's impressed upon us through the collective consciousness that we should know it all. But guess what? You do know it all. Everything you need to know is inside you. I love doing Far Cry 6. I had never.
Come on now.
I loved it. It was arduous. It was strange and weird. I act with nothing with some costumes. Far Cry 6, I'm in a leotard suit. You see every part of my body, a green suit. I'm in a helmet with 3 cameras on the front and a light in my face. I have a belt on that holds all of the electronic equipment, and every part of my elbows, my knuckles, everything that bends, that articulated in my body has a sensor on it. All right, I'm in a room with no set, and I've got to act as if there's a chair there and go sit down. It could be. I have to act through a helmet, looking at you. It taught me how to connect through all of the elements that pose an imposition, and it took me back to the theater. Wow. It was like being on a stage just like this, and it was a really interesting process. The first day, I thought to myself, I hate this. This is not my world. But so they shoot all that. The whole room is cameras, and there's also a camera, as I said, 3 of them, one in the center on this helmet to get all of my facial expressions, and then they shoot it in the whole room to get my physical expression. Then they take that up to it's transported to a computer where the magic really happens, where you have over 400 to 600 to 1,000 people, 400 people on site, and then things go to different countries, and they animate me. I mean, it is incredible. When I first looked at what they did, I said, that's real, that is me. But it was not. And they can make me look older, look younger. So my inquisitive nature, while I was shooting Far Cry in Montreal, I wanted to go upstairs to the computer places. And I met people who spent 6 months on the scabbard for Anton Castillo's knife. 6 months. Computer generating that, coloring it in. It's just an amazing process. So I have a great amount of respect for the process of what goes into the invention of a video game. It's quite extensive, and it's really great work, and I would love to do one again.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Make some noise for that. Oh, I love that. 6 months. You talk about dedication. Dedication is something small. A scabbard. It's not the role, but it's a part of it. That's right. That's part of
Unbelievable.
Dedication. Beautiful. Sophia wants to know, if you were not an actor, what would be your dream job?
I would be an archaeologist.
Come on.
I'm so fascinated by science and archaeology and our world and things that have been left behind from ancient cultures. And so, to me, an archaeology would be something I would love. And also, I went to the Explorers Society in New York, and I'm fascinated by the turn-of-the-century explorers like Shackleton, who went to the North Pole. To be able to explore, to me, is another fascinating thing. So I think I'd be one of those, because it tells us about not only our past, but it propels us into the future. And so I think recently in Arizona, they found remnants of an ancient hammer. What? Like, this is AD stuff, before anyone knew that anyone could make, a hammer. Right. And they found it in a berm that they were doing some construction on, and they've acknowledged that this is mind-blowing. So history also appeals to me as well. So there would have been a lot of things I would have done outside of being an actor. Again, I asked the question, because, young people here in the room, room. All right, you're at an age where you have so many interests, and you don't know what you want to do with your life. And a lot of things are pulling you. And that's the way I was when I was young. I thought, what if I don't make it as an actor? And I thought, put that thought out of your head. There is no other choice. You will, again, here's the mantra.
Come on now.
I am, I will,
yes.
I can.
Come on.
You will. I was told over and over again I wouldn't make it. But when you're making a choice of what to do.
Bring those people up here right now. I want to talk to those people that said that.
I mean, and I'm not like that person who's going to go, I told you so. I just knew. Like I knew. You got to know.
Right,
and if you know, and making your choice about what to do with your life, ask to be enlightened on how to know, because that knowing will pique your interest as me. I mean, I wish I had more than one life, because I still love archaeology.
Of course.
I still read about ancient Egypt. I still read about kings and queens on the Silk Road, because all that transfers to how we got to where we are now. Mm-hmm. But I have one life, and I knew it was acting, so here I am.
I love it. I absolutely adore that. The idea that you would have explored culture, but instead you've gifted us with culture, and we appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. But before we get